Hi, my name is Adrian Reed, and this is my assignment on evolution of smartphones. The evolution of smartphones began in 1973 with the invention by Motorola. It was originally called the Dynatec and weighed around 2.5 pounds, which is heavier than the usual phone nowadays, and can only take and make calls only for a few hours. Over the years, the mobile phones has evolved from big chunky blocks to smaller and more useful and efficient phones. The 1980s saw the first introduction of commercial phones, which were still large and expensive, but they had a battery life and improved functionally, which means they moved from just working for a couple of hours to being able to be in charge, could last for days, months, and years. 1990s saw the introduction of the digital networks, which enabled mobile phones to have better call quality and better ability to send message and text messages. During these times, they didn't have video calls yet, so it was very hard to see your family. You would actually have to see them in person. The rise of the smartphones. So during the smartphone rise, this was during like the 2000s. It originally started in 1993 through Exison, Ericsson, and that was the original smartphone, the first smartphone. And then it changed during the 2000s because it wasn't officially released till then. During the 2007, Apple had introduced the iPhone. The iPhone had a large touchscreen, a more powerful processor, a wider range of features, way more features. We're talking about Apple Music, Safari, it ranges, calculators, all type of stuff. Touchscreens originally came out back in 1993 with the Ericsson, but it popularized during the 2000s with the iPhone. Since the evolution of smartphone technology has increased since 1993, it has moved from just touchscreen, emails, and the basic stuff to games, videos, movies, streaming, calls, even microphones. People use their phone as microphones. People use their phone as projectors. People use their phone for the cameras nowadays, the artificial intelligence, even the augmented reality. Some of the most important milestones in smartphones, which were very influential to the culture today, has been very phenomenal. From the personal communicator back in 1994 to the first BlackBerry being released in 1999 to iPhone being released in 2007, the first Operation Android system being released in 2008, to the first Android smartphone with a touchscreen being released in 2010. 2011, the first iPhone with a Retina display is released. 2012, the first smartphone with a fingerprint sensor is released. 2013, the first smartphone with a 4K display is released. 2014, the first smartphone with a virtual reality headset is released. And 2015, the first smartphone with a foldable display is released. As it comes on the iPhones, Androids, and different operating system, they have all made a big change to the game in terms of communication and growth in the whole environment, because a phone went from just a want to right now in the world a need, because without a phone right now in the world, it's very impossible to get stuff done, from communications to even the virtual reality of creating at your fingertip. A phone that has moved from just a personal hobby to an actual real life job. Like, people get paid just to be on their phone nowadays. So it's really good to see the changes, but it's also, with every good positive stuff, it has negative, which leads to, abuse of power, abuse of knowledge, abuse of data, which sometimes turned out to be scams, and other stuff, the basic stuff. But that's my presentation on smartphones. As for my citations came from Clearly Wireless, which was the evolution of smartphones, and the Brick to a Smartphone by Gibbs and Hawks 2020R, and The Past, Present, and Future by IEE Explorer, which is Zoomed R Applegates, which was made back in 2014. Thank you.